She was forced to marry a man she'd never met, and what happened next would change both their lives forever. Rain hammered the airport windows like a warning, and Madeline stood at the arrival gate, clutching her suitcase until her knuckles turned white. Her heart pounded, not with excitement, but with dread. A letter from her father had brought her here, summoning her into a life she hadn't chosen, an arranged marriage, with Derek Callahan, a man she had never seen. The letter's words were cold, sharp. He is wealthy, powerful, and expects compliance. Refusal is not an option. This is for the family. Madeline had protested, begged, and even cried, but her father's voice, calm and unyielding, crushed her resistance. "It's for our family's future, Madeline. You'll understand one day." Hollow words, empty promises. A black limousine waited at the exit. No note, no greeting, just a silent statement of power. She stepped inside, and Derek's gaze pierced her like a blade. His eyes were sharp, calculating, as if she were an object to be appraised. "Why me?" she whispered, voice trembling. He smirked faintly. "It's a business arrangement, nothing more. Don't expect romance." The mansion he brought her to was a palace of glass and steel, beautiful, yet cold, sterile. Every room reflected the same harshness she already felt in Derek's presence. Madeline felt like an intruder in a life that had been planned for her, not by her, but for her. Days of cruelty awaited, and Madeline would soon learn that Derek's power was matched only by his coldness. She thought entering his world would be the hardest part. She was wrong. Weeks passed. Derek's words were sharp and rare, spoken only when necessary. Every glance seemed calculated, every gesture measured. At parties, he openly flirted with other women, right in front of her. Madeline's chest ached with humiliation, yet she refused to cry. One evening, after a particularly humiliating incident, she confronted him. "Why do you do this?" "Do what?" Derek replied casually, leaning back in his chair, eyes avoiding hers. "This, treating me like I'm nothing," she said, voice trembling. "Like I'm replaceable." A shadow flickered across his face. "You were chosen for a reason," he said finally. "Not because I wanted to marry you. You are convenient, useful." The mansion, the staff, even her clothes, all fell under his scrutiny. Every day was a test of endurance, but Madeline refused to break. Patience and dignity were her shields. Slowly, he began to notice her strength, the quiet resistance that refused to crumble. Beneath his cruelty, something unexpected began to stir: curiosity, and maybe even admiration. The woman he had married as a convenience was slowly changing him. Months passed. Madeline's grace under pressure and quiet strength intrigued Derek. She wasn't like the other women he used as ornaments. She had depth, intelligence, and resilience. One evening, in the warm glow of the library, Derek spoke without pretense. You don't complain," he said slowly. "Most people would have left by now, or broken under me. I survive," she said softly, "and maybe I notice things others don't." Something shifted inside him. He began watching her, not with judgment, but curiosity. How she moved through the mansion, how she treated the staff with kindness, how she remained unshaken by his cruelty. Small gestures followed. He listened to her opinions during meetings, saved her a seat at events, lingered near her door, pretending it was by chance. Love began to bloom, slow and reluctant, unspoken but undeniable. One stormy night, Derek would reveal the reason behind every harsh word and every test. The truth behind his cruelty was more heartbreaking than she ever imagined. Thunder rattled the windows as Derek called her to the study. His voice, usually cold and clipped, now held hesitation. "I need to explain why I married you," he said softly. "Not for business, not for convenience, but because of a promise I made long ago." Madeline's heart tightened. "I lost someone I loved when I was young," he confessed. "I promised I would never allow weakness in my life again, never let attachment cloud my decisions. When my advisors suggested an arranged marriage, I chose you, strong, intelligent, resilient, perfect on paper. But I didn't account for you, your patience, your heart." He paused, searching her eyes. "I treated you poorly because I was afraid that if I let myself care, I would lose control. But along the way, I did fall in love with you, slowly, silently, and now I can't imagine my life without you." Tears welled in her eyes. Every cruel word, every act of humiliation had led to this moment. Love had grown in the unlikeliest place. Could trust and love truly bloom after so much pain? Sometimes love arrives in the most unexpected forms. From that night, the mansion changed. Derek's harshness faded, replaced by respect. And finally, genuine affection. Small gestures, a poured cup of tea, a gentle compliment, a closed door for privacy, spoke louder than words. They learned to navigate the fragile beginnings of love, built on struggle, patience, and understanding. The forced marriage, once a source of pain, became a story of redemption. A man hurt by loss and afraid of attachment, discovering love in the unlikeliest place. Madeline's endurance and Derek's honesty transformed cruelty into connection. And in the quiet of the mansion, amidst rain, storms, and countless long nights, a love both reluctant and enduring took root. From forced marriage to unexpected love, their story proves that even the coldest hearts can learn to care. If you loved this story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more emotional stories every day. Let me know in the comments, where are you listening from today?